Hello everybody, my name is Kim Fox, the local 4-H educator here in Wright County, and I'm going to share a few things that you need to know for your state fair registration related to the general encampment at the Minnesota State Fair. There are several requirements to attend the general encampment at the Minnesota State Fair. First, you must have completed 6th grade. You must have enrolled in 4-H by the deadline and completed all fair registration requirements. Wright County 4-H must also have enough chaperones attending if you plan to stay overnight. You may now be wondering if you qualify for an exhibit at the Minnesota State Fair during the general encampment. Livestock, photography, fine arts, crafts, and shop must be accepted by their trip deadline of 2 p.m. There is a state fair lineup in the 4-H building at the Wright County Fair that can help guide you in this. There are also several dual trip options, which means you can take more than one project. You can take a general and a livestock, and there's also the option to take a demonstration, an engineering design project, share the fun, club community pride, and horseless horse or horse related. If you have questions, please ask a 4-H staff member. If you're looking for more information related to the general encampment with 4-H, please go to z.umn.edu/4H fairs. This will give you a lot more details about your stay and judging experience at the Minnesota State Fair. Be sure to check out the Minnesota 4-H State Fair Premium Book to learn about class listings and rules related to the project that you're bringing for general encampment. This will help answer a lot of your questions about what type of project can be brought and what you all need at the State Fair. If you're looking to get more questions answered related to your child's stay during the general encampment at the Minnesota State Fair, please go to z.umn.edu/4-H State Fair Guide to get your questions answered. We ask that 4-Hers and their families review the code of conduct and dress code related to attending the general encampment at the Minnesota State Fair. It's important to practice good sportsmanship and teamwork, be fair and honest, and be respectful of all the other people who happen to be there during the general encampment. It's also important to stay safe and healthy. Please visit z.umn.edu/4-H policies to learn more. After winning a state fair trip with your 4-H project, you may be wondering when those encampments take place. There's one livestock encampment, and then there's 4 separate general exhibit encampments. All livestock participants with 4-H will go to the same livestock encampment August 24th through the 28th. But for general exhibits, there are several different encampments, and Wright County was assigned to Encampment 3, which is on September 1st through the 3rd. So as you can see, during the general encampment, there's a judging schedule for each of the project areas. So you'll be able to look at this slide and find what project your child happens to be bringing to the state fair and when it will be judged. You'll notice that each judging exhibit has an exhibitor orientation first, so it's required that you attend that, and then projects will be judged during a specific time frame. A lot of times during that orientation, you'll find out exactly when and where you're going to be judged at the 4-H building. So please pay close attention to the exhibitor orientation because they'll get more details during that time, exactly when during that time frame you'll be judged and where in the 4-H building. This is just a continuation of the judges' schedule. If you didn't find your child's project on the first slide, you may notice their project on the second slide here. So they may be on the top. You'll see the different days. So make sure you notice if it's something that's going to be exhibited on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday of September 1st through the 3rd. Another great opportunity for youth who are attending the general encampment at the Minnesota State Fair is Chef for a Day. This is offered 2 times per day for general encampment, and you can be in teams of 3 or 4. You can do this as a county team or as a multi-county team. Either one of those is absolutely okay. This is a 1-hour educational program, and participants will be preparing a nutritious salad and learning lots about health and nutrition. It's an awesome time and I highly recommend it. If you want to know more about this, you can go to z.umn.edu/ SF-chef for a day. When you're thinking about your child's trip to the Minnesota State Fair for General Encampment, there are several different options for attending. You can go for just a day trip and take in the experience of judging that day. You can go for the full 3-day encampment, or the child can choose for a partial encampment, so maybe just a couple of those days. As I said earlier, a day trip is certainly an option to just travel to the state fair for judging day. Transportation is the member's responsibility, and there will be a gate pass provided for the member only. So since the 4-H'er is choosing not to stay overnight in this situation, a gate pass will be provided. A full encampment is another option to stay at the state fair for the full time of September 1st through the 3rd. 4-H'ers have the option to stay at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds during judging time, as well as the rest of the encampment, which is a 3-day experience. If choosing this option, 4-H'ers must stay in the 4-H dormitories on the state fairgrounds. The third option is a partial encampment. Stay at the state fair for just a portion of the encampment. Members can stay for just one night at the 4-H dorms on the state fairgrounds if they choose. They, however, must fill out additional forms, which include day departure and a housing release. If you have questions on how to fill out these forms, please contact your local 4-H staff. The first program fee of $60 for livestock and $50 for general exhibits will be paid by Wright County 4-H if you work a food stand shift at the Wright County Fair. Any additional program fees must be paid by the 4-H family. You must attend all judging activities, or the scholarship must be repaid by the family. There is lodging available for $25 per night and meals available for $8.50 each. You must sign up for meals in advance. Meals are available in the 4-H cafeteria located on the second floor of the 4-H building at the State Fairgrounds. Serving times for general encampment include breakfast from 7 to 8, lunch from 11 to 12:30, and supper from 4:30 to 6. You can use your meal tickets during this time. 4-H members only will be receiving a gate ticket to enter the state fair during their judging event. These gate ticket passes are non-transferable, and one ticket will be required for every day that the 4-H'er will be entering the gates at the Minnesota State Fair. Please think about any health or other special considerations that were not noted in 4-H Online when registering your child for 4-H. Please consider any judges' considerations such as learning disabilities or hearing impairments, dorm considerations if your child is staying overnight, or any other considerations such as dietary needs or allergies, mobility changes that are important for 4-H staff to know. Parents of youth 17 and under who are staying overnight in 4-H housing must prepare and bottle any meds and complete a separate authorization form and hand the meds off to the staff or chaperone at the Minnesota State Fair. 4-H nursing staff will administer prescription meds. Quick relief medications such as asthma medications, insulin, bee sting kits, or EpiPens can stay with the 4-H member. If you have any questions about this, please ask your local 4-H staff. If you choose to stay overnight at the Minnesota State Fair, please bring a sleeping bag or bedding, a pillow, personal items such as a toothbrush, soap, towels, shoes. Make sure they're comfortable, and also bring flip-flops or shower shoes to wear in the shower and around the dorms. It's also important to include casual clothing such as 4-H t-shirts. Leave your valuables at home and bring only a limited amount of cash. Be sure to check out the State Fair 4-H app before attending the general encampment to learn more about a general state fair guide, the premium book, schedules, maps, and more. You can go to z.umn.edu/4-H State Fair apps to learn more. You may now be wondering how to register your child for their general encampment at the Minnesota State Fair. Again this year, it's an online process. Computers will be available at the 4-H building on the Wright County Fairgrounds. Registration must be done in the 4-H building and cannot be done from your personal devices as it has been done in the past. Credit card payments will again be accepted this year, as well as cash and check. Registration must be completed by the end of the fair. Gate passes and meal tickets will be mailed out after the county fair in time for the state fair. Be sure to add an additional $15 for one additional encampment, which include any of these two: livestock, general, virtual general, and or llama alpaca, and then add $30 for two additional encampment if attending any three. These are not covered by Wright County 4-H and would be the responsibility of 4-H families. Please take your exhibits home following the Wright County Fair. Make any changes recommended by the judge and make any repairs needed if you plan on attending the state fair with your general exhibit. Be sure to label all the pieces of your exhibit. If there are multiple pieces, label them 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and so forth. Also be sure to include your name and county very clearly so that we can make sure we get your project back to you after the Minnesota State Fair. Families are responsible for their own transportation to the Minnesota State Fair for general encampment. Projects need to be brought to the Wright County 4-H office no later than August 16th this year, and we will transport them to the State Fair for you. Any oversized or fragile exhibits must be transported by the exhibitor's family on August 18th between 1 and 6 p.m. After the State Fair, any projects that were transported by 4-H staff can be picked up on Wednesday, September 7th between 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Self-transported projects can be picked up at the State Fair on September 5th from 9 to 10 p.m., September 6th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., or September 7th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Any exhibits left at the office after September 30th will be discarded. A final reminder to please send a thank you card to anybody who sponsored an award that you received during the Wright County Fair. Be sure to have your picture taken for our chaperones so that they can find you if need be during the State Fair encampment. Please send us your fair photos and stories following your State Fair experience. We hope you have a great time. If you have any questions, please contact a Wright County 4-H staff member. If you'd like to have some of your questions answered, please feel free to join us for a State Fair participant Q&A on August 23rd at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom, or if you're a chaperone at the State Fair for either the general or livestock encampment, please join us on August 17th at 6:30 p.m. Both of these meetings are via Zoom. We hope to see you there.